देवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नष्टकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनकारणं परमानन्दमाधवम्. So, Hare Krishna, once again, Prabhuji and Mataji, Vinod Pranam. And we will discuss about one very, very important ingredient for a successful devotional life, and which we all know is humility. And I was fortunate enough to hear last week, so it is all Krishna's arrangements, to hear something about a very important character in Ramayana. I'm sure we all are aware of that important character. We will try to discuss something more with the help of each other. So, the character that we are going to discuss today is Kagbhushan ji, and the different stages that he went through, and ultimately what he achieved, and a few more related important pastimes regarding Kagbhushan ji. So, thank you once again to all of you for giving me the opportunity, and especially to Himanshu Prabhuji for once again getting me to share something today to glorify the Lord. So, today's shloka is from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.29.18. Kindly forgive me for any mistake, especially with respect to the recitation of the shloka. आध्यात्मिका अनुसरणान् नामा संकीर्तनाश्च मे अर्जवेनार्य संगेन निर्हंकार्याय तथा. Try once again. आध्यात्मिका अनुसरणान् नामा संकीर्तनाश्च मे अर्जना अर्जावेनार्य संगेन निर्हंक्रियाय तथा. May request anyone, Prabhuji and Mataji, to please try reciting this sloka.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. I will try, Prabhu. Adhyatmika Nama Sankirtanascha me Arjanavenarya Sanghena Nirahankriyaya Tatha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thanks a lot.
Hare Krishna, yeah.
Any one more, Prabhuji or Mataji?
Can I try, Prabhu?
Please, Prabhuji, yes.
आध्यात्मिकानुश्रवणान् नाम संकीर्तनाच मे आर्जवेनार्य संगेन निरहंक्रियया तथा.
Very well. Thanks a lot, Prabhuji. Yes. May I request Tanvini Devinasi Mataji to please read the synonym and the translation. Hare Krishna. May I request you, Himanshu Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So, translation, word to word also I should do, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji, both. Synonym and translation. Yes.
Yeah, synonyms and translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Adhyatmika, spiritual matters. Anusravana, from hearing. Nama Sankirtana, from chanting the holy name. Cha and me, my. Arjavena with straightforward behavior, Arya Sangena with persons, Niharikaya without the false ego, Tatha das. Translation: a devotee should always try to hear about spiritual matters and should always utilize his time in chanting the holy name of the Lord. His behavior should always be straightforward and simple, and although he is not envious but friendly to everyone, he should avoid the company of persons who are not spiritually advanced.
Very well. Thank you, Babaji.
Hare Krishna.
So we'll read the purport slightly longer. We'll take maybe another 5 minutes. So, Sant Prabhuji, can you please read this first paragraph?
Yes, Prabhu. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In order to advance in spiritual understanding, one has to hear from authentic sources about spiritual knowledge. One can understand the reality of spiritual life by following the strict regulative principles and by controlling the senses. To have control, it is necessary that one be non-violent and truthful, refrain from stealing, abstain from sex life, and possess only that which is absolutely necessary for keeping the body and soul together. One should not eat more than necessary. He should not collect more paraphernalia than necessary. He should not talk unnecessarily with common men, and he should not follow the rules and regulations without purpose. He should follow the rules and regulations so that he may actually make advancement. Very good.
Very well. Thank you, Prabhuji. Can I request Mamta Mataji now to please read the second paragraph?
Hare Krishna. Sure, Prabhu. There are 18 qualifications mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, among which is simplicity. One should be without pride, one should not demand unnecessary respect from others, and one should be non-violent, uh, amani, aman, amanitavam, abham, abhambhitam, ahimsa. One should be very tolerant and simple. One should accept the spiritual master and one should control the senses. These are mentioned here and in Bhagavad Gita as well. One should hear from authentic sources how to advance in spiritual life. Such instructions should be taken from the Acharya and should be assimilated. Hare Krishna.
Very well. Thank you, Maraji. So these are like this purport will explain many important qualities that we should like try to learn and assimilate in our life. So here one important word is like one should be non-violent. So this non-violent is the word which is mostly misunderstood among like in our society. Okay, the most common meaning of that is like not eating the non-vegetarian is considered to be non-violence. Okay, but in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada explains it beautifully in many of the places that non-violence can even be seen when we do not serve our soul the kind of experience that it needs to go through. Okay, so our soul is also thirsty and hungry for the love of the Lord, but if we don't feed the soul but instead serve the body, so that is the beginning of non-violence. From there only all other external non-violence that we see in our society, they take place. The moment we realize this fact, all the social problems will immediately not be there. So non-violence, like we say, charity starts from home, right? So similarly, the non-violence starts from inside. And this one point I wanted to highlight. So thank you, Mamta Mataji. And next, if Tanvini Mataji is there, then I will request her. Otherwise, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. It is especially mentioned here, Nam Sankirtanacha. One should chant the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Either individually or with others. Lord Chaitanya has given special stress to chanting of these holy names of the Lord as the basic principle of spiritual advancement. Another word used here is arjavena, meaning without diplomacy. A devotee should not make plans out of self interest. Of course, preachers sometimes have to make some plans to execute the mission of the Lord under proper guidance. But regarding personal self interest, a devotee should always be without diplomacy and he should avoid the company of persons who are not advancing in spiritual life. Another word is Arya. Aryans are persons who are advancing in knowledge of Krishna consciousness as well as in material prosperity. The difference between the Arya and the non-Aryan, the Sur and the Asur is in their standards of spiritual advancement. Association with persons who are not spiritually advanced is forbidden. Lord Chaitanya advised, Asat Sangat Tyaga. One should avoid persons who are attached to the temporary. Asat is one who is not too materially attached, who is not a devotee of the Lord, or who is too attached to women or enjoyable material things. Such a person, according to Vaishnav philosophy, is a person non grata. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, one important thing that this part of the purport reminds us are the six qualities which Srila Rupa Goswami explains in Nectar of Instruction, like how important it is to be in the association, and at the same time, how important it is not to be in the association of those who are not uh, conducive to the devotion. So, thank you, Mataji. And we will read the last part of the purport now. Let me request Ati Sundari Devidasi to please recite this. Hare Krishna. So, Sanprabhuji, can you please try? Take this one.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I see Preeta Mataji or Vasant Prabhu, one of them joined, just for information.
Oh, Haribol. Sorry, Prabhuji, I was not seeing it looking at the screen. Yeah, Prabhuji or Mataji, can you please take this part of the purport, the last one?
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Sorry for joining late. So I don't know. A devotee should not be proud of his acquisitions. The symptoms of a devotee are meekness and humility. Although spiritually very advanced, he will always remain meek and humble, as Kaviraja Goswami and all other Vaishnavas have taught us by personal example. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught that one should be humbler than the grass of the on the street and more tolerant than the tree. One should not be proud or falsely puffed up. In this way, one will surely advance in a spiritual life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. So, like in the when the entire Bhagavad Gita was about to get over, right? There, Krishna says, "Sarva dharman parityajya." So, even if for some reason something spoken earlier has been not heard properly or something has been missed, then at the end the crux comes. So, like this, Prabhupada is explaining the crux of the entire shloka, because even if out of many other qualities which are spoken, if something is heard, forgotten, anything, but if we just remember this last part, so this is like the foundation. So we have many things. The building may be as much tall as it may be, but if the foundation is strong, then it can withstand anything. So like that, in the purport of the last part of the purport talks about the importance of humility. So this is the most simple and short, soft way of achieving success in the life of in the devotional life. So we will, as mentioned, like in the beginning, we will take the example of Kagabhushan ji in today's discussion to understand how this can be important. And as we just saw, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu specifically highlighted the importance of this example where one should always be remain meek and humble. Okay, and basically the Trinadapi Sunichena example. So as we all know from Siksastikam, the third sloka is from Mahaprabhu. In the and even like that Sarvadharman Pariteja, which comes at the end of Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, at the end of Chaitanya Charitamrita, 5 plus 3 plus 3, 11 cantos. At the end of 11th canto, the last chapter is Sri Siksastakama. So, which is Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amananina Manadena Kirtaniye Sadahari. So it tells one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind,
Hare Krishna.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, every devotee, like we make the Tulsi Mala, right? Kanti Mala. So similarly, every devotee must make the thread of this shloka and wear in their neck all the times. So that important this shloka is. And I want to share a small example, of Srila Prabhupada. So once it so happens that during the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, when he used to have like devotees, and Prabhupada was going as one of the audience to hear the Bhagavatam from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. So many people used to come there, and Prabhupada, as we know, was a pharmacist. So, and they all had a great respect for Srila Prabhupada, other disciples of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. So once when the class was over, one of the other devotee, he goes and at the end of the class, like we all meet and greet. So they were also meeting with the Prabhupada, and the Prabhupada gives him a tonic. Okay, so because and Prabhupada said like it will keep you very healthy. So that devotee said, fine, this will keep my physical body healthy. Okay, but you have to give me that hidden tonic. Okay, that will keep my soul healthy. So Prabhupada said, yes, that tonic is getting prepared. And he said, when you will distribute it to us. So he said, the time will come, okay, when I will distribute it in the world also. So the devotee said, I don't know when I will be there at that time or not. So you have to give me the tonic now. Then Prabhupada says, no, the tonic is very, very open, like everybody knows that. And then when the devotee asks what that tonic is, then Prabhupada says that tonic is Tatrinadapi Sunichena Tarurapi Saishununa Amananina Manadena Kirtani Sadari. Means we just have to be in the receptive mood, hear and be tolerant of all the problem comes. So like Sarvabhauma Prabhu says, our heart is like a room, right? And because of the envy and other problems that we get, we, without taking the rent, we give the space to others, and they reside in our heart without paying the rent also. So that precious is our heart is. So if we don't give any space to anybody outside by not being envious, then the entire space is available, right? And we do put the message, right? To let. So that to let is for Krishna, because he's the one who is the actual owner of that heart. So, and this right side, this bottle is like Sinkara. I don't know how many of us remembers. I just saw this ad today in the morning. So it was like, just on a lighter note, it was, anybody wants to identify who this person is? Seen this in the past.
Are you sharing something,
Oh.
Prabhu? We are seeing the PPT only.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Are you sharing something? We are seeing just the PowerPoint.
Oh, okay. I was sharing a. Yeah, I was sharing a video, Prabhu. That Sinkara, Hamdard ka tonic Sinkara.
Javed
Like,
Jafri said.
it was a very famous ad earlier days. So
Javed
Jafri, when he was in early 20s maybe, so he had acted. So he starts his day with a lot of energy, but because he's doing all the activities very fast during the daytime only, he's exhausted with all his energy. So then that Hamdard ad comes, Sinkara. So it was a very funny ad. So I just thought of sharing my screen, but it looks like it was not very clear. So the tonic for us is to be humble and tolerant. So this is what I was trying to connect. Sorry, that video was not available in between, so kindly forgive me for that part. Okay. So we will come back to our sloka, okay, where how important the humbleness and tolerance is in the life of a Vaishnava, especially. So we will go back now into the life of Kak Bhushanji. Kak means crow, and Bhushan means the jewel. So the jewel among the crows is Kak Bhushanji. This is the literal meaning of the word. So there are the 3 stages that we will discuss for his life. Stage 1 is there was a time when he was in the association of many Vaishnavas, and somehow he got the attraction for Lord Shiva, and he he thought like Lord Shiva is always mad into transcendence. So these Vaishnavas are like just doing singing, dancing, and all. Okay, I want to know that supreme person. Okay, who is beyond these all these things. Basically, that impersonal aspect, and I want to follow Shankar. Okay, the way that he. I mean, I'm not saying he felt for that time that Lord Shiva is above everything. Okay, so he goes and search for some guru who is following Shiva, and finally he finds one. He was very happy that now I will be on top of all the other Vaishnavas who do not have the complete knowledge. Then he serves his guru, who is the worshipper of Lord Shiva. After many years, when he had been serving the guru, so his guru was very happy, and he tells that, my dear disciple, because I'm very happy from you and your service, so I will tell you one secret today. And that secret is, after serving Lord Shiva for hundreds and thousands of lifetimes, the outcome is the getting the bhakti for Lord Krishna. This person becomes mad that the sole reason for him for coming into the association of this guru is to get more close to Lord Shiva, and he was having a sense of difference that Lord Shiva is top and Krishna is below Shiva. So that was sort of the intent. So we will not go more into that because that is not the purpose. But when his guru tells him this thing many times, he becomes morose. Okay, that what is the point of I coming to you? And then one day his guru comes and he does not even gets up. he remains seated. Looking at this, Guru does not say anything, but Lord Shiva becomes very angry that you consider yourself so higher that you are not even paying the respect to your Guru. I curse you, you go and take thousands of janmas, and you will go in different yonis, right? Different life you will get, and you will be moving here and there only. His Guru was very kind, okay, and he prays to Lord Shiva that please forgive my disciple, okay. He did not mean that way, okay, and he tries to save his disciple. Looking at his Guru's behavior and request, Lord Shiva tells, okay, you will remember all your janmas, okay, and you can take any form whichever you want, but I cannot take my curse back. You will be taking thousand janmas. With this, stage 1 gets over. Now he has realized, the disciple, that he had made a mistake. Now what happens is, he takes 1000 janmas, and at the end of which is the 1000th birth, he searches for a guru who can speak about the actual real pastimes of the Lord. He was no more interested into other uh, celestial calculation, how this universe came into picture, how many days Brahmaji lives, those kind of uh, calculation and scientific information he was not more interested into. He was just keenly interested to hear the crux, the core pastimes of Lord, especially Lord Rama's pastimes. Now he goes and meets Lomas Rishi. We all know Lomas Rishi was, uh, he had the boon of living a very long life, and in short, the one hair of Lomas Rishi used to break from his body after one Brahma passes his life. So, and he had hairs all over his body. Now he goes to Lomas Rishi and he requests him to recite the pastimes of Lord Rama. Lomas Rishi starts with uh, how the creation of the universe came into picture, how Brahmaji first came from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. He said, Guru Maharaj, you are good. I mean, uh, kindly, whatever you are saying is very good, but I am interested into hearing the pastimes of the Lord. So Lomas Rishi does not say anything. He continues, and this thing happens for few times. The difference between the stage 2 and stage 1 is, stage 1 he had no acceptability. He was interested and he was making an offense, and he was not humble at all, right? That's why he did not even get up. Whereas in stage 2, he knew the problem that he had done in stage 1. So he was very humble, and without any other feeling, he was just requesting that I have taken so many janmas. I have seen how the body transmigrates from one body to another, how the soul transmigrates, and how everything happens. So I lost my interest into that. You please show mercy on me, okay? And in a very humble manner, he tells. Now what happens? Lomas Rishi gets angry, and now he curses him that you are continuously interrupting me, okay, in my story, in the katha that I'm telling you, like a crow. You go and take the form of a crow. Now this man is fully uh, like he was unable to understand why all this is happening, because this time he had no intention of making any offense. He was just very plainly, with a very soft, honest heart, he was interested to hear the pastimes of the Lord. The moment he turns into the body of crow, Lomas Rishi realizes that he was not asking anything wrong. I mean, he was just making a request. Did I react? Did I overreact for his small request? And then when the crow was about to fly from that place, he calls him back. And the crow comes back. So Lomas Rishi asks him that you please come and sit here. So the crow thinks, okay, maybe he has forgotten to complete his curse. It is my destiny only. I don't have any issue. So fine, I have come here again. You can complete your curse. So Lomas Rishi says, no, I did not call you to curse you further. I called you to ask you for forgiveness. And let me help you to tell you the story of Lord Rama as you desired. And then he showers his mercy, Lomas Rishi, and tells him the complete childhood pastimes of Lord Rama, for which he was particularly requesting to hear. So at the end, Lomas Rishi tells him, if you want, you can take any form of the Lord. Any form of the body, that whatever you want. You need not to be remain into the crow form. So now this crow is no more a normal crow. So he has become Kagbhushand. So here the transition happens, stage 2, from a normal Kak to Kakabhushand. He has become the jewel of all the crows. And he says, in my this crow form, I have got the opportunity to hear about the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Okay. I will not change. I will be happy to continue in the same crow form. Now, while leaving, he insists and requests Lomas Rishi to tell why did he, because Lomas Rishi is very, very happy from his behavior so far. And he asks, why, the crow asks, why did you particularly give me the form of a crow? So Lomas Rishi answered this very beautifully, that you came here with the intent of hearing the childhood pastimes of Lord Rama. So this is the most important line of today's katha. So you came here with the intention to hear about the childhood pastimes of Lord Rama. I, being your guru, will be very happy to not only tell you the story, but make you enter into the pastime. So this form of crow will help you to perform the pastime within Lord Rama's childhood. Now the crow becomes very, very happy, and he was very happy even for the fact that he decided to remain in the form of crow. And then Lomas Rishi tells him, you fly in this direction, and he tells the times that at that time Lord Rama will come in Treta Yuga. And Kagbhushand follows the same thing. So what happens is during the childhood, he reaches in Ayodhya where Lord Rama was in the child form, and morning around, say, Brahma Muhurta, 4 o'clock, Kaushalya, Mother Kaushalya and other queens of Lord Dashratha, they look at a crow, okay, who in the very cold weather goes and take bath into the river at 4 o'clock, and then comes and sits on the window of where Lord Rama is there. They are talking. Today we are seeing a miracle. Crow, who is lowest among all the birds, okay, at 4 o'clock is going and taking the bath and coming in our window. So Mother Kaushalya replies, I have also heard that many celestial person from other universe, they also take different forms and they comes. I've also heard from our Guru Vasisht. So let him do whatever they want. So they don't come into the part and interfere. So in the Kagbhushand, he is taking the darshan of Lord Rama. And now crow is known for its like naughty nature, right? I mean, and it was given by his guru to be like a toy for Lord Rama in his childhood. So that was the role through which he was entered into the pastime. Now what happens is there is very beautiful, heart touching uh, shlokas of this incidents. I cannot recite them uh, because I don't have the capability, but I'll just try to share the essence what I heard. So Lord Rama, because now he has been empowered by his guru. Okay, so the Lord has to accept. He has got the stamp. So another beautiful message is we by ourselves have no role as such. Okay, but when we are empowered by the guru, okay, by the guru, then we directly enter into the pastime and we become a part of that. So Lord Rama looks at the crow, and he was given chapati by Mother Kaushalya to eat. So he was eating that. He was around 5 to 6 years of age. So he took a piece of chapati and he offered it to crow. The crow feels this is the first piece of the chapati. How I can take it before my Lord? So he does not uh, try to receive that first piece of the chapati, but immediately Lord Rama shows it and then eats it by himself, because Rama also understood that he did not want to eat first. Now the second piece comes. Now the crow is ready that I'm getting the prasadam directly, Mahaprasadam from Lord's hand. So the crow is fully ready now, and when Lord Rama offers the second piece, he was about to come, but now what is the role of crow for Lord Rama? Toy. Means Rama has full right to play with him. So the second piece of the chapati which Rama offers, he shows, and then immediately when the crow is about to come, he eats it again. Meaning they are just playing like a toy. So Lord Rama is playing like a toy with crow. Similarly, third, fourth, fifth piece happens. Now the crow knows I am a crow. Okay, I have the right, and he's my Lord. I have the full right to make the play complete. I mean, fully. So when Rama offers, crow is very sharp. So he knew when Rama is going to break the next piece and offer him. The moment Rama breaks the second piece, and then by the time he offers, the crow takes it and then flies away. So basically, he's contributing to the play of Lord Rama to help him and amuse him. So this is how that, and this happens every day, okay, for 5 years, because it is like once that, okay, once from 0 to 5 is called Balavastha, right? From 5 to 10 is 6 to 10 is called Pogand. 11 to 15 is Kishore Avastha, and then Yuva. So sorry, this was the time when the Lord was below 5 years. So this thing happens like for 5 years. Okay, in every Treta Yuga, Lord Ram does not come in every Treta Yuga. He comes in one of the Treta Yuga in Brahma's life, like that. So the beautiful thing of the second stage, okay, was he was also given a boon that you will be able to live in this world as long as you want to, and you can go to any planet with the speed of mind, like Naraji. You can take any form, which he had already clarified. So these are the blessings that he had got from Loma Rishi. And in the third stage, as we saw, he was enacting in the pastime of the Lord. So Kakbhushanji is still there today also, and whichever planetary system Lord Rama is taking the childhood form there, he waits for that time, and he goes and consistently enjoys the pastime. Now, what we learn from here is the mercy of Guru is very, very important, without which there is no possibility of achieving anything. We can see in stage 1, right? He just went with a different intention, and over the different stages, right, from what to what he has reached. So the primary reason was the mercy of the Guru, okay, and his submissive and humbleness, because he could easily get angry in stage 2 that I did not come with the intention of disrespecting you. Like, he had a valid point, but he never left his intention, his humbleness. And even when he thought in his mind that the Loma Rishi is calling him to complete his remaining curse, he still came. Right? If we see a U-turn, right, in the story from stage 1 to stage 1.5, the U-turn happens after stage 1.5, where he comes back to hear Loma Rishi again. Otherwise, we would have flown back, and then maybe rest of the remaining 1.5 pi pastime would have not happened. The reason why I'm saying 0.5 is because that is a U-turn time. This is where he has the transcendental pastime of the Lord Rama's childhood, and then his life transforms. So this is because of the humbleness and tolerance. Okay, so that is the reason of naming our today's discussion based around humbleness, and that foundation was the last purport of the Srila Prabhupada's purport. If we go one step more behind, so after this, the Kak Bhushan Ji becomes very, very famous, okay, in different universes, and Garud Ji, okay, who is the king of all the birds, okay, he during the fight of Rama, right, with Ravana, he was tied with the Nagpash by I guess Meghnad Ji, or I don't know, maybe Ravana. So he was tied with the Nagpash, means the rope made up of the snakes. So he was tied with that. And then Narad Ji looks at him, and then, see, of course, it is a Leela of the Lord who can tie the Lord. But Narad Ji calls Garud Ji and then asks him to cut off all the snakes, so that Rama and Lakshmana could be relieved from there. So Garud Ji does so, okay, but he gets a sanshay. He gets a doubt in his mind that how come he can be a Lord? My Lord is the one who is there in Vaikuntha. Nobody can even dare to touch him. This Lord, I cut his ties of snakes. How can he be the Lord? So he gets this doubt. So though he frees Lord Rama from the knots, he gets into the knots of the doubt. So this is where, otherwise, Garud Ji is very, very, he's always there, right? It is said, I mean, we all see in front of every temple, in front of the main deities, there is always a pillar of Garud Ji. So he's very, very dear to the Lord, and he's always ready, because we never know when the Lord might need to fly and to help some devotee. So he's always ready, fully taking his position. So, but when he gets this doubt, I mean, he gets into problem, and then he goes to Indra, and then Brahmaji. They say even we also got doubt. How can we help you? So he sends him to Narada sends him to Shiva, that he has many, many snakes in his neck, and then I mean, you got into this trap, and he only can save you. So when he goes to Lord Shiva was going to meet someone in the heaven. So he meets him on the way, and then Shiva tells, see, good, I appreciate that you have come to me, and I would have definitely liked to answer you, but because you have met me on the way and I'm going somewhere, if I explain this, okay, this is not the right place and time. So I suggest you to go to such and such a mountain. Okay, what is that? What was it? There was a mountain where Kagbhushanji talks about the stories of Lord Rama repeatedly. So when I say repeatedly, it means non-stop. Okay, he starts from the childhood birth of Lord Rama and takes it to till the Uttarakhand. And the moment, important to note here, okay, the moment the last sloka of Uttarakhand happens, same day, okay, he starts with the very first sloka of the Balakand. Means there is no break in between. So that much dear was Lord Rama for Kagbhushanji. And many different souls from different universe, they used to come and hear him. So when Garudji goes there, he again feels how this crow can tell. I mean, I have always passed from here so many times. I'm the charioteer of Lord Vishnu. So I've seen you many times, but I never paid attention. I mean, how can a crow be so much this thing? But when he goes and hears Kagbhushanji, his heart also completely changes. And the reason why Lord Shiva sent Garuda to Kagbhushanji was because he says a bird can understand the language of a bird more easily. So though Kagbhushanji is in the form of a crow, which is the lowest, it is called Chandala Pakshi. Means it is the lowest among all the birds. But and Karudji is the king of all the birds because he's always dear to the Lord. So to break his doubt and that toughness, okay, that was the reason Lord Shiva sent Garudji to Kagbhushanji. So his heart also changes and then he transforms. So that was the this thing. This part we just discussed as part of the remaining this thing. So with this, I will close this discussion, and the key takeaways just rely on the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and our Guru, okay, and be humble. There are the only two takeaways, and kindly forgive me for any mistake that I've done during the course, and I'm sure you always, as usual, will forgive me. So thanks to Srila Prabhupada, and over to you, Himanshu Prabhuji now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I'll stop my sharing, brother.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Danut Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So again, thanks to Sant Gopeshwar Prabhu for the nice bhajan in the start of the day, and then your class with a topic that suits you, and of course the story, that sticks to your sticks to the very. It's very easy to understand and story and a story. So very nice way of telling this and also explaining, the importance of Guru and practicing humbleness. So I'll begin first by inviting Sant Gopeshwar Prabhuji to share his comments.
Thank you, Himanshu Prabhu. Thank you, Sadhu Prabhu. Very good. For me, I never heard about Kagbhushanji. I'd heard the name, but I never heard the pastime completely. So thank you, Prabhu, and really appreciate that you took up the service. You created the slides. You created the presentation for the service of the Lord in a very short time. So thank you very much. Prabhu, nothing to add. Just the humility part where you said usually we people believe that in the modern world that humility is said to be the absence of self-esteem. So in your Kagbhushan story, in the stage 2, when he was kind of he was cursed to be the crow and he was asked to go off and then again called back. Usually a person like me would have we would have been angry on the person who cursed us, and we would have flown away, would have returned again, not obeyed his order also. But Kakbhushan, being very humble, yeah, he obeyed the order of the Vaishnava, like the Chitraketu story, where he was cursed by Mother Parvati, but still he did not have any grudge on them. So this is the humbleness uh, which Vaishnavas have, and but here in this modern world, we usually think it is a lack of self-esteem. So, which is a wrong terminology. And actually, in fact, what we understand as humility, actually, it surpasses uh, just the tolerance which probably we have on the other person, about the other person or the situation. So humility also requires that amount of tolerance. When we say tolerance, we usually uh, or I would say I usually, when someone says wrong to me, I try, when I say I'm humble, I usually say something, think something, I may think something bad about that person. Uh, and at the same time, I may act externally to be humble. So, which means I imagine myself to be humble, right? So I'm doing something, I'm trying to be humble. I'm not being rude with the person. Uh, I'm thinking myself lower to him. So these kind of thoughts flock our mind. And then when uh, we this Prabhupada says, or the Acharya says, this is not the real humility. So real humility, uh, it does not actually real humility does not actually tell that you are humble. So when you think you are humble, then we are not really humble. It just happens. We just act humbly. That's it. So it is. So I think, Prabhu, at one point of time, we should probably uh, this would happen over the period of time when we are in the right association, and uh, when we devote our time properly in the service of the Lord, in association of right devotees, reading shastras, chanting properly, then these qualities over the period of time would, I would say, manifest in us. It is not something that we can artificially develop. This is from my own experience as well, Prabhu. So when we try to act humble, we know that we are acting humble. We mean, sorry, I. So it has to be the over the period of time, and it is actually one of the, as you rightly said in the beginning, it is one of the very important jewels, or one of the prerequisites to actually enter into the uh, arena of devotion. And to develop that, we require some pass. That pass to enter the arena or the stadium, and that pass is the association of the devotees who themselves are humble. So thank you, Prabhu, and I think I am the right association, Prabhu, being with you. So, and with all of you. So thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Haribol. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So is Purna Mataji with us, Prabhuji?
Think so.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. So I request you now.
Session, Prabhuji. As Sunil Prabhu, as usual, आपका अलग ही innovative way से आता है. And then first time I heard this Kalabhushan story, and now I was listening to the story and seeing so many crows there out. So I was thinking, so even all these days, usually we say that ancestor come in a form of crow, and then now first time I heard that even devotees can come in the form of crow. So usually as they say that crow is the most filthiest, like one of the filthiest animal, because it sits in any filthy place. But that designation is being cancelled out here, just by, like, he accepted whatever position he was. He just accepted that because he wanted to be in service of with Krishna. So with this, like we have this sloka from Bhakti Shastri, sorry, not Bhakti, Nectar of Devotion, I guess. Sarvopadi vinirmukta tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevaya bhakti ruchyate. All the like whatever the material designations we have becomes like we get out of them through like we get pure nirmalam by serving Krishna. So like instead of like we have to little be try to imbibe the qualities also, but still again by serving Krishna we will accept whatever situation, in whatever situation we are, we'll accept that situation and will serve him. And the purest form is like we have whatever situation, whatever body, whatever paristhiti, even Jayapataka Swami Maharaj once, even Prabhupada says that even in hell we should be able to chant the holy name. So whatever tormentation we go through, no matter what, um, this story says that a devotee accepts it with the complete happiness just to serve Krishna. Very nice story, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. So now I request Tanvini Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. I would like to start off with I missed the Kirtan, just the last part. Actually, when I joined, it was just the last part that was going on. So, and I heard the Kartals and it's like, yes, the expert. And then I was like, oh my God, why did I wish it? Oh, Krishna. But then, that must have been a good start. Thank you, Himanshu Prabhuji. It's a very nice comparing that you're doing, and it's unfortunate that we didn't get to hear for it, but at the same time fortunate because we heard a very good topic today from Sadhu Sevan Prabhuji, who just like at a short notice can do this. Hare Krishna. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. As a I also have not heard actually. My maternal side of the family, they are into Ramayana and they always quote Kak Bhushandi ji every time. And but I actually did not know the story that well. So thank you for choosing Kak Bhushandi topic, Sadhu Sevan Prabhuji. And there were some parts which were not clear to me, and I would like to hear it again. I mean, this story and more in depth about Kagbhushandi. I think because of the time constraint, you had to like shorten it or probably for us. But it's a very it's so nice to hear how submissive one can get and how submissive because Kak Bhushandi ji reminds me of Shabri also, the same like how submissiveness is there to become humble. I mean, the humility itself, submissive is just a show of the humility. So because I haven't heard about Kak Bhushandi ji, but now that I've heard from you, I remember how when Shabri, when Lord Ram had met and had come to meet Shabri, and it was the first thing because she used to, her spiritual master had said that the Lord will come to meet you, so you be here. And she was and she every day she would clean the house. Every day she would, as if because when we get a notice that somebody is coming to our house, we would clean it probably as we get a notice. But here she was not given any notice, and so she would clean the house every day, like it's as if he's going to come, the Lord is going to come today. And so this showed how much faith the she had in the spiritual master. At the same time, this Bhushandi is also showing faith and submissiveness. He is portraying over here, which is very nice, Guruji. So and the I mean, how the spiritual master's words are taken, and then he's shown mercy by the Lord. The because I mean, over here, that's what it reflects. Like the spiritual masters, actually the curse, because lately we have been discussing in other classes that the Vaishnavas curse, whatever, whenever the curse is there, the Vaishnavas curse, it's never a curse, actually it's a mercy. So even if the Lord cursed, Lord Shiva cursed Kakbhushandi, but actually it was a mercy only which came because and that's what we have seen in all the scriptural examples that have been there, that all these curses have been turned into mercy. And it's also and this mercy is shown upon only those devotees who are so pious, and to make them more, and to portray them as examples, and it's a show of humility. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for taking this topic, and it's a good thing to meditate upon in the morning. It was very well presented. Thank you, Prabhuji. I mean, at such a short time also, yeah, so there's a lot to learn from you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. And Pranam.
Yes, completely agree, Mataji. Thank you so much. So Vasant Prabhuji had to drop. So I request now Mamta Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Hello, am I audible, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with the Sant Gopeshwar Prabhu. Uh, very nice rhythm, kartal, and lovely melodious kirtan. Prabhu, thank you. Thank you for starting the day with the rings of bells. As we enter in the temple. So first we hear the sound of rings. So it was similarly that first we were listening the kartal and then we were entering towards Bhagavatam. Thank you. Uh, Coming towards Sadhu Sevan Prabhu. Uh, I need to understand, Prabhu. I will come back to you separately. Then, how you prepare on such a short notice, how you prepare such a wonderful topics without any notification, nothing in such a short span of time. That is such another quality, and which is really, really require kind of a different and unique strength. Because even, I mean, person like me, even if I will get the entire week, one hour I'm not able to give, and you're doing such a wonderful job on such a short period of time, Prabhu. Danvas to you, big haribol. And the top of that, whenever you choose the topic, that is also always unique. uh, we have I personally has heard about Kakbhushandi in Ramayana many times whenever we come across, but I was not at all aware about the personality. Today you have given the all entire story, his pastime, his walk through. I mean, we all walk through with his life, how he was devotee, and then at one point in time he got distracted and he attracted towards Lord Vishnu, sorry, Lord Shankar, and then again he got end up to our beloved Krishna. I think somewhere it happens to us as well, you know. Being even devotee, and we are moving absolutely fine, but somewhere or something other will come across, and we get attracted to something else. So we should be very mindful, first of all, that I mean, whatever we are doing, whatever the shastras and the gurus we are following, uh, if everything is in order, then we really do not need to bother how and what, as you mentioned. rather putting our brain that how this creation develop and how the other solar system, this, that, many things. Rather putting our brain into all this, just concentrate. And if you are in Sharan of Krishna, then one should not think anything else, and that is the essence. And second thing which I understood is Guru. Guru's mercy can take you to anywhere. huh? So that is very, very important. Reaching to the Lord, or even getting entire, getting entered to the Ramayana also, it was only because of the mercy of Guru. So Guru's kripa is very, very important. For me, it's a learning. For me, it's a topic to think that I should also think about it. And third, uh, which is very important, which you start with, humility. The entire story, today's topic, every element which you connected with, it was taking to the conclusion of humility. Yes, Prabhu, a Vaishnava and a Brahmana. First, we need to be, we should have this quality first. Then only we can perform anything else. And as Sant Gopeshwar Prabhu very well said, if we are thinking that we are humiliate, then that means we are not. That means we are not. It should come. It should come automatically. It should be your inbuilt any element of your character. So thank you for reminding us, Prabhu. We are brushing up every time on Friday towards our characteristics, towards our character, and we are listening the Lord stories, kathas, and same time we are implementing on our characters. Uh, Big Haribol, Dhanvas to you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. You got the complete nectar of the class. Very nice comments. Okay, so I go to your home, Sadhu Sevan Prabhuji. So I request now Ati Sundari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you, Sant Gopeshwar Prabhu, for wonderful done. And what a poem. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Sant Gopeshwar Prabhu for wonderful Kirtan, and Himanshu Prabhu, very, very nice comparing, because I can see Vasant Prabhuji is not there, so I'll try to speak in Hindi. I'm more comfortable. सो प्रभु जी, बस मैं यही कहना चाहती हूँ, कुछ रियलाइजेशन। सबसे पहले तो हम लोगों ने अभी 2-3 दिन पहले सब पूरी फैमिली ने साथ में इनकी कथा सुनी थी, काकभूषण जी की। हम लोगों ने भी फर्स्ट टाइम सुनी थी, एंड इट वाज वंडरफुल वंडरफुल। और ये 3 डेज का कुछ है उनका, और बहुत ही अच्छी है। सो आई रिक्वेस्ट टू ऑल इंक्लूडिंग अस कि रामायण में, उत्तराखंड में उनके इस चरित्र का वर्णन है, तो विल ट्राई टू रीड जब भी हम लोगों के पास टाइम होगा। बहुत सुंदर है, बहुत डिटेल्ड में है और बहुत ही अच्छी है। और क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लगा कि इस एक स्टोरी से हमको बहुत सारी टीचिंग्स हम लोग ले सकते हैं, बहुत ही मतलब अच्छा है। और ऐसे ही मैं आज रियलाइज कर रही थी, वो सुबह मॉर्निंग 6:30 मेरे प्रभु बोलते हैं कि कुछ प्रिपेयर नहीं है, क्या टॉपिक दूं। तो अभी मुझे ऐसे ही चीजें याद आ रही थी कि कैसे हम लोगों की जो भक्ति है या कुछ भी टाइम या चीज हम भगवान को देते हैं, तो वो कैसे भगवान उसको मौका देते हैं, मतलब अप्लाई करने के लिए, या उसको हम खुद भी सुने और उसको आगे भक्तों के साथ शेयर करें वो सारी चीजें। तो मतलब क्योंकि अभी आजकल मेरे प्रभु बहुत एक्सट्रीम, उनके पास टाइम नहीं होता चीजें, पर पता नहीं कैसे हम लोगों ने वो सुन पाए वो कथा एक साथ बैठ के, और आज वो सुना पाए। तो मैं यही सोच रही हूँ, अगर नहीं होता तो उनके पास कोई टॉपिक नहीं होता आज बोलने के लिए, और वो कैसे करते। तो भगवान कैसे सारी चीजों के लिए प्री प्लान करके चलते हैं कि और इतना सुंदर काकभूषण का, क्योंकि हम लोग कितने हम लोगों ने डिवोटीज की कथाएं सुनी है, बट इनका मैंने भी हम सब ने एक्चुअली फर्स्ट टाइम सुना था, तो अच्छा लगा। तो भगवान सारी चीजों को कैसे प्री प्लान करके और करते हैं। तो बस थैंक यू प्रभु जी एंड माता जी। हरे
Yeah,
कृष्णा।
completely agree with you, Mataji. Thank you so much. So is Nikunj Prabhu also with us? Nikunj Prabhu भी attend कर रहे थे क्या class? हाँ, अच्छा जी, okay प्रभु। When you said कि आप 3-4 उससे join कर रहे हैं, तो मुझे लगा again the family is all entire family.
So Prabhuji, there was a reason like I was telling the word right, empower. So through your insight, blessing,
No, Prabhuji, it's your greatness. As always, you are very humble, and you always come up with such, as I mentioned at the beginning, out of the box, unique, and the storytelling is always so good because it comes easy for understanding. So I just want to add my comments. You emphasized on how the chanting should be done, the state of mind. We should be very humble, and also the importance of Guru in our life, and also that the 4 regulative principles and the sense control is so important. Trinada Pisunichena, very pleasing to hear, and but so difficult to practice. And Kirtiniya Sadahari, this is the way of life for us. And then you gave so many examples along with the story. And I'm in the same group that I've heard the name Kakbhushan ji, but I never paid attention to his contributions and his bhakti. So it was very good information for me. And the final takeaway, as you said, humility. You said one important thing, that when we practice devotional service, so automatically we go on that path. So I would now pass on to you for your final comments.
I will just say that sometimes the situation comes wherein even if we want to be humble, okay, because of the knowledge that we have got through the mercy of the Lord and the Guru, sometimes we, even if we want to pretend to, because I'm saying based on some things which I experienced recently. Let me just turn on my phone audio, Prabhu, so that it will be better. Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So Prabhuji, just want to add that even because of the situation, if Prabhupada says, fake it until you make it. Okay, so this is further to the comment that Sant Prabhuji also told. I mean, because when we say we are humble, I 100% agree, because realizing the fact that we are humble itself is a question mark, and there is no doubt. What is the hope? Hope is Prabhupada, fake it until you make it. Now the question is, can we always fake it also? Probably not, because there is a degree up to which we can try to be humble. But now, what is the hope? We cannot remain humble even if we want to pretend to also. So the hope is that just to offer our our fakeness also to the Lord. That see, Lord, I tried to act as much as I could. The situation is not allowing me to follow your footsteps. What should I do? So show your incapabilities to the Lord, right? So He's in our heart, so He will accept them. And whatever outcome comes. So it is all due to our bad karma, and if anything good comes, that is due to the mercy of the Lord and Guru. So that's all, Prabhu. I mean, I just experienced few things recently, so that's wanted to share in this part. So Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and thank you so much, Sant Prabhuji, for your a very, very energetic kirtan. I mean, somehow I got the mood and the energy to speak, Prabhu. I mean, you are the primary reason for that, Prabhu. And once again, thanks to you all for bearing me and my inefficiencies. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So I just want to check again. I hope we did not miss anybody, all or any other comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, sorry for, like, I woke up with Santosh Kirtan, so I rushed, so I missed your comparing. But post that, the way you were acknowledging everyone's comment was very nice, Prabhu. That actually that should be the way to, like, you were listening, you were maybe making note of it or something. The way you were reciprocating, Prabhu, it was very nice, Prabhuji. Sorry for missing your comparing, introduction of Sadhu Sevan, Prabhu.
No,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Actually, today I have done a very bad job, and on both fronts. Actually, I I always drag the preparation for the class to the last day, and yesterday I felt that it will not happen this time. And then then I learned this morning that actually, yeah, I'm not taking the class. I've escaped from that, but I'm still supposed to compare, and I felt that I'm not ready for that also. So today, no, my apologies. I have not done a good job, but it's a lesson learned for me. Yes, thank you, Mataji. So, all right. So then it's time for us to switch on the cameras and stop the recording.